Aquarius, hello, welcome to Unseen Hands Healing. I'm Amanda, and today we are going to do your November shift reading. So we are looking at the shape you are shifting out of this month, the shape you're shifting into, and what that shape shift looks and feels like. Aquarius, before we begin your reading, the image that's coming to me for you, and I think this is a continuation of October's shift reading, because I remember there being something about we are made of stars, and you sort of looking up at the night sky, the stars, and realizing as above, so below, as within, so without. That whole thing. There's a continuation of that this month, where you are looking up at the stars and not only recognizing the oneness of all things, but you are starting to recognize specific patterns in the stars, which then you are seeing suddenly all around you. It's like the same patterns you recognize in the stars, now you're seeing in grains of wood on your floorboards, and patterns in the waves that you're watching as the tide comes and goes. You know what I mean? It's like pattern recognition is now becoming a part of this much more existential realization process that you're going through, Aquarius. And here's what that shapeshift looks like. So I pre-pulled your cards from the El Goliath Tarot this month because there's a lot of energy in Scorpio season, and I kind of need to sit with these cards before I chat with you. So here's your shapeshift. You are shifting out of the Four of Cups and into the Two of Wands. It says the wandering mind, W-O-N-D-E-R, wandering into the lightning struck antenna. So there's this process of inquiry, actually, and I'm seeing it as much larger existential inquiry that is paying off in what looks to be a revelation. The lightning struck antenna, that's been coming through the air signs especially, but also some of the earth sign energy, which is the lightning striking and providing the information, the inspiration, a catalyst for change that moves you into action, that changes your state of being from one that I think is not active, sort of like lost in the emotional experience of an existential state. The Four of Cups, just sort of like longing, unable to really lift your head off the pillow, but like really longing for more, like I can barely lift my head up. I'm so heavy so like sopped through with the emotional experience of this like existential weight. That's how it feels. And it's like looking, head on the book of knowledge, eyes gazing into the crystal, just like longing for answers, actively seeking answers. We're actively seeking what's next, or seeking something more, longing for something more, wondering when is it going to come, and then boom, it does. The lightning strikes, the inspiration, it strikes the antenna because you are putting those feelers out. And if you're not, I think this reading is certainly encouraging you to like put those feelers out into the universe, dear alien, and ask for the revelations that you seek. Because here they come, and it strikes the antenna. The Two of Wands talks about making a choice, a door opening before you. You're standing at the threshold here of like, do I go this way? Do I go that way? What new doors am I entering into? What's next for me? And then suddenly it's like the inspiration strikes, the realization comes. And since the Two of Wands is about action, I think it's spurring you from a place of inaction into action, making a strong choice once you get the inspiration you're hoping for. And here's what that shapeshift looks and feels like. We have extra cards here today. The Hanged One, the Sacred Heart, the Queen of Cups, and the Hidden Wolf. Let's start over here. The Hanged One says the suspended monkey. So yeah, this is a state of suspension. This is a state of everything sort of hanging in the balance in this like very floaty Piscean mist of just like, what is even going on? You know, like that's really it feels a little lost. Honestly, it feels a little lost. Beautifully, and this came through the Capricorn reading as well, there's a really strong heart presence. When I see this card, it's like it wants to lift up out of the image and just like come towards me, because it feels like there's something in the heart that needs to be seen. There's something in the heart that wants to be known. And it happens through this process. Interestingly, I get this. It's like this could in and of itself be your shapeshift. The animal lifts, its head up from its narrow gaze. Its narrow gaze that is determined by the weight of its own emotional experience, which is a heavy one. So weighed down by your emotional experience that you can't really even lift your head up to see the larger picture, to see the larger cosmos. It says the mother of crystals, and it's like I'm seeing this as the moment of pattern recognition for you, which I think is actually the moment of inspiration. It's like you look up into the sky and you see this lightning strike, you see this meteor shower, you see this shooting star, whatever it is. You recognize a pattern. Yeah, that is a shooting star. You recognize some sort of pattern out there that is also in these crystals and is also inside of you, right? And then that causes some sort of unmasking of something that has been hidden from you. And I see this as the same being. It's like when you look up at the stars, it gives you suddenly a much larger perspective on what's going on for you, that it's like this giant existential moment of pattern recognition, that like what you're seeing out there is inspiring you to understand what's happening inside of you in a different way. And then that causes like a shedding of a skin, a shedding of a mask to reveal what has been hidden inside. It says the masks, the hidden wolf. And we're getting a picture of the wolf in sheep's clothing. So there is something about the beast within you coming out to be seen. It's like you're wearing a lambskin when in fact you are cougar, you are bear, you are wolf, not lamb. Very different category of animals here. You know, you could categorize them as predators versus prey. I'm not saying you're a predator. What I'm saying is they are like, they play at opposite sides of the coin, or being on opposite sides of some sort of interaction. So maybe there's something that you recognize or realize this month that's like, oh, I'm actually the opposite. You know, I'm actually the opposite of how I have been acting, or I feel the opposite of how I've thought I felt about a certain thing. Whatever this is, whatever this moment of realization that comes from something much larger than you, a totally larger perspective, I think it's shifting everything for you. And it's interesting too, because I sometimes see the Two of Wands as like a shift into your power, stepping through the doorway into your personal power once you are like struck by lightning, once you are electrified. You know, like electricity is a power source. It's like raw power, and that raw power hits you, and suddenly the beast within awakens. This wildness within is ready to emerge and stop pretending it's a lammy when it's not a lammy. There's a real conversation happening here. This could also be someone in your life that comes in with a realization, seeing you differently. Interesting. Shift in perspective. Hanged One energy is a shift in perspective. a change of heart, perhaps, a truth of in your heart beginning to rise up, which forces a perspective shift on yourself even, or on a situation. And then that changes how you make choices in the world moving forward. Wow. What I can say, Aquarius, is that you are shifting out of this sort of existential weight, this wondering mind, and into the lightning strikes, into action, into the inspiration that you've needed to move towards taking action. Okay, so Aquarius, we're going to dive deeper into this now in an extended reading. But first, I have some announcements that I'd like to make about how Unseen Hands is expanding. I'm so excited to share this with you. So if you just stick around for those, I'll explain and then tell you how you can view your extended reading for November. Take care, Aquarius. Quite a Scorpio season we are looking at here. I am so excited to announce that Unseen Hands is expanding. My dear friends and fellow healing artists, Kevin and Kelsey, are joining me to form Unseen Hands, a healing arts collective. We want to deepen your monthly shift experience by adding in astrology and a creative guidebook to help you work through your monthly shift process and inspire you with different perspectives and different kinds of artistic viewpoints on these monthly shifts. So to view your extended shift reading, you can head over to unseenhandscollective.com, where we are offering you an opportunity to explore our new offerings. So head on over there and we will dive deeper into your shift together.